आमच्या भविष्या खातीर ते बलिदान दितात. आम्ही मजेत घरात असतात ते त्रासांची येतात. सीमेर उबे राहून देगीत तुमकां फक्त देशाचीच काळजी. तुमका आमचा मानाचा मुजरा सलाम फौजी, सलाम फौजी. तुमका आमचा मानाचा मुजरा सलाम फौजी, सलाम फौजी.
Jai Hind viewers and welcome to my show SALAAM FAUJI. तुमकां सगळ्यांक खबरच आसा that this show is basically to create an awareness about armed forces among the civilians, especially गोंयच्या लोकां खातीर, गोंयच्या विवंतां खातीर, आनी to motivate the young boys and girls from Goa to join the armed forces. आज आमचे मदीं आमचो गेस्ट म्हणून एक असो अधिकारी आसा, कॅप्टन सुनील कुडालकर. ही इज फ्रॉम द इंडियन नेवी. ही हॅज कम हियर टू शेअर हिज एक्सपिरियन्सीस विथ अस. ही इज फ्रॉम द नेव्हल एव्हिएशन अँड रिटायर्ड आफ्टर 33 years of service in the Indian Navy. Welcome to my show, Captain Kudalkar.
I thank Prime TV and Mr. John Aguiar for inviting me over here to share my experiences in the Indian Navy.
Captain, why did you choose to pursue a career in the Indian Navy?
After my graduation, that is, I completed my BE in electrical engineering, and I come from a small town. You know, those days, 89 and 90s, you must be aware there is no social media. I just happened to see an ad in the newspaper asking for graduates in the Indian Navy. I just applied, and then after some times, I got a call from Naval Headquarters to attend a SSB in Bhopal. And for your information, I don't have any defense background. Yeah, that's right. A distant cousin of mine was in Air Force because it was a totally uncharted waters for me. So I just consulted my parents and they said, go ahead, why don't you give a try? So since I didn't know anything about Navy, then there was a detachment, Seabird detachment in Karwar.
Karwar, yeah.
Yeah, and there was an officer in charge. I went and met him, and I asked him. I got a SSB call from Indian Navy, and then he told me, yeah, there is a good opportunity for you. Why don't you go and try? And then SSB is difficult, and everyone will not clear it. So he said, all the best and try. So I started gathering the material for that SSB, how to go about it. That was over a period of 10 to 14 days. So that was the first venture, my venture, beyond Vindhyas. I went to Bhopal, gave my SSB in Sultania Infantry Lines, and then got selected.
First attempt?
First attempt, yeah.
Great.
First attempt, got selected, and then that call letter came to join Naval Academy in Vere.
That time the academy was here?
Academy was here in Vere. Now it is shifted to Ejimala. Yeah, that's how, I got into Navy.
How was your SSB?
SSB, yeah, it was tough. That too, that was in the peak of winters. That was in somewhere in December, that was in SSB. That to Bhopal, and a guy from south going to Bhopal in the peak of winters. It was tough, especially the physical activities, the rope climbing and all those things. So I had done a bit of physical exercises.
Tiger leap and all?
Yeah.
Vertical rope?
Yeah. You still remember. I heard that, I understand that, you have
yes,
attempted a couple of SSBs. Yeah.
Yeah, and how was your basic training?
Yeah, basic training, it is basically 3 months of orientation in Naval Academy. They, put you through paces to make conversant with naval traditions, and then physically or emotionally, and leadership skills. That is 3 months of rigorous training and orientation before we go to our basic training. That we did it in. So we went to our alma mater, INS Valsura in Jamnagar. So we did the 2 years of course there, the basic electrical engineering course.
You were in the naval aviation, you said.
After that, what happens is once you finish that your basic electrical specialization course, they give you options whether you can go to a general marine onboard ships, or you can opt for a submarine, or you can opt for a aviation. So I opted aviation because I can be basically, I mean, there is no particular interest in aviation as such. I just opted aviation because I could be, you know, in South India, because major naval aviation bases are in South India. So I opted, and then we came to Cochin to do our air electrical specialization course. That's, you do, you know, that 1 year of air electrical specialization course, and then after that you get your first appointment.
What was your role in the naval aviation?
After in the your air electrical specialization course, at the end of the course you have to choose the aircraft stream. In the sense, you know, some people go to the transport stream, some people go to that fighter aircraft, some people go to helicopters. In that helicopter also you have a Russian origin aircraft, that which are bought from Russia, and you have Western origin helicopters like Sea Kings and Chetaks, which were brought from Western countries. So I opted for Kamos, that is the Russian origin ASW helicopter. And then after that you have to do a competency in that particular helicopter. That means you have to be competent enough to technically supervise that helicopter. So my competency period was in INS Hansa, 333 squadron, that is that ASW training squadron.
What were your challenges you faced as an officer in the Indian Navy?
Challenges in the sense, life in defense service itself is a challenge. And then the challenges are many in terms of as a young officer, soon after my competency, I was posted on a R-class ship, that those called Rana Ranjit destroyers. You know, they have that integral flights, ASW flights. So it was a baptism by fire. A young officer who has just, had his competency, and you are straight away into the field, that is that operational assignment. And then you have a very compact team of only 10 to 12 people with you, and you are the only technical officer who is looking after the aircraft. So that is a challenge in itself. You know, when you go for a deployment and there is nothing, no technical assistance, nothing, you are with your team of 10 to 12 technical ground crew, and then you have to manage. That is the biggest challenge. Next challenge was that, obsolescence, in the sense the helicopter which were operating, that is Kama 25, it is a 1950-1960s technology. So the production lines had already stopped. The spares were very difficult to come by. You had to develop a skill set to maintain those aging birds. So those were the challenges which I encountered during my tenure initially as a technical officer on board a ship.
Captain, how did you balance your personal life with the demands of the Indian Navy?
Like a Navy is a beautiful service in the sense, personal life, there is a space for, we work hard, we play hard. In the sense that it's, as you said, it's whenever you are on board a ship, go for a long deployment, in the sense that your personal life gets affected. But Navy looks after you very well, in the sense that, whenever the ships go for long deployment, months together, for exercises, there is a stay-back cell formed, stay-back team formed, which looks after all the family requirement, like somebody is ill, has to be taken to the hospital, or some other admin work. So that way it's beautifully managed in the Indian Navy. So your personal life, there is a work-life balance in the Navy, in the sense you have enough opportunities to mingle around with people. You have, festivals are celebrated together, and you have picnics or some competitions for the kids, and then some activities for the veterans. So it is all very well looked after. That means that I personally never found myself, so in difficulty as far as my personal life and professional life is concerned. And it is Navy is a cultural melting pot in the sense that you have people from various cultures. You get to know those people. You get to celebrate those festivities together. It just widens your horizon. As a personal personality development, you develop as a person and you have a different worldview altogether after getting into services. So you are not cooped up in one place.
Can you share a memorable experience during your tenure in the Navy?
As I said, naval service itself is all those 33 years have been very memorable for me. And then certain memories are etched in my memory permanently. And I can share a couple of them with you. These are something to do with nature. Like once we were deployed off Gujarat, and that was on peak monsoon, that too on a destroyer. As I said, I was a technical officer on board of the integral ASW flight. So the sea was very rough in the sense, sea state 5, 6, the 5,000-ton ship, 147 meters long ship was being tossed around like a toy in the sea. And the forecastle was literally going down into the water and coming up. And
very scary.
Very scary. And that what we call as a ship's galley, that is the kitchen was totally shut down because you cannot cook. So we had to survive only on bread and rasam, ready-made rasam. And then while we were coming back, we had just finished, our helicopter had finished one mission. It was just coming back, and somehow in that choppy sea, we could recover the helicopter. That it was ranged on a halodeck. Halodeck is what we call it is on the quarter deck, aft of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the ship's roll and pitch, there is a limitation for operating the hangar. Hangar doors cannot be opened. So the halo had to be ranged on the halodeck with the lashings. So that was a very difficult situation in the sense, we had to literally crawl on all fours to go to the halo and do the lashing. And the waves were so high, you just can't imagine. Then that is the day where I saw nature is supreme. I have seen that, such a violent and vicious sea. So I was there in the quarter deck. We were all, all flight people, our flight commander, everybody was watching, then we were all scared. So that nothing should happen to the halo. But as luck could have it, there was a massive wave which went over the quarter deck. Massive wave means tons of water literally came. We ran for our lives. So, and then when the wave, when after some time we could see I just came out and saw, luckily the halo was still there on the halo deck, but it was so badly damaged. All blades were broken. There was a water ingress in the engine, the halo. All seawater. That is still vivid, so vivid in my memory, I just can't forget. That was a very, scary experience. And after that, we had to tow the halo by road. That was another experience altogether. So this is the one. The other experiences that are, like I was an electrical officer of a diving vessel, diving support vessel, DSV. Okay. The vessel basically supports the divers and conducts all diving operations. So, previously, there was a policy, all the aviation technical officers, all aviation officers rather, have to do at least 2 tenures on board a ship as an electrical or an engineering officer. As a mechanical engineer, we call him as an engineering officer. Electrical officer, we call him electrical officer. So I was an electrical officer of a diving support vessel. So we were sent to Lakshadweep to do along with the underwater wing of Archaeological Survey of India, where there was a shipwreck called Royal Princess. It was we were supposed to recover the artifacts and antiquities which were there. And I think till date it is a record that, for as far as the ASI is concerned, at the depth of 54 meters, our divers could go and retrieve all those artifacts like guns and some pottery and all other items. And that was professionally very satisfying for me, in the sense that touchwood, all machineries worked. All machineries works. There was no breakdown, and absolutely, and the nature was so beautiful, serene, crystal clear waters. And then in my life, first time I did scuba diving underwater. That was amazing. And why I'm telling you this, these are the two extremes of a nature, where when the nature is so serene, pleasant, you can have a beautiful experience. And when the nature is like this violent, you have such a, it teaches you a lesson in life.
Acha, Captain, how do you see the future of naval technology and its impact on maritime operations?
As a service, what I have seen last 33 years, it's very fast in absorbing technological innovations. It is like your mobile or any consumer durable. Today there is something, then tomorrow some new model comes up. Even a different technology is like that. Earlier we used to operate Kama 25, 28. I have seen it myself because I have operated both these aircraft. Because 25 was the wall-based technology, where the units, the components were so huge. Now we came to Kama 28, another ASW helicopter, where there is an improvement. Then we came Kama 31, where that is all digitization was there, glass cockpit, in the sense everything is digital. It had that inertial navigation system, it had the advanced radar. So I have seen all this technological innovation. Now Navy is in the forefront of technology innovation or implementation. For that matter, recently 2 days back, we commissioned 3 assets. You must be knowing INS Surat, then INS Nilgiri, the frigate, destroyer, and then INS Vakshir, the hunter submarine. And then INS Surat is the first vessel which has AI, artificial intelligence. It has something called, integrated platform management system. It's a very advanced system where you can manage all the equipment, all the sensors sitting at one place. It is the integrated. That has been indigenously developed. I think I am very proud to say that it has been indigenously developed, and such a technology will exist. And it is a kind of a power projection. Is a power projection, because we have a stake in Indian Ocean region, that is IOR, where all the Navy, there is a lot of foreign naval presence is there. Indian Navy being a blue water Navy, it has to show your engineering prowess. It has to show the power projection is very important. It has to show our capability.
Captain, what are the key qualities that are required to join as a naval officer?
Key qualities, and it is a very, in the sense, I'll tell you, key naval officer is a leader, basically a leader. He leads.
Apart from OLQs?
I am not talking about OLQs at all. Okay, OLQs is a different matter. I am talking about as a leader. Like there is a difference between a corporate leadership and a military leadership. Corporate leadership, what I think, it is slightly impersonal, in the sense like we as a military leaders work very closely with our men. Like on board ship, there are thousands of men are there in a very such a small confined place. Like in a submarine, you interact with your men very closely. So there are certain qualities which are required. Like these days, the other ratings are also well educated. So you have to be, your integrity should be high. And you have to think on your feet, in the sense you have to take a decision. Your decision may affect the team and its mission. So that honesty, integrity, and that ability to communicate and ability to listen to people, because there are times even best of the suggestions or recommendations come from the junior most, because you have to listen to people. And as Field Marshal Manekshaw said that the leader is the one who adapts to the changing situations to achieve his goal. And he famously once said, I'll not order you into the war, but I'll lead you into the war. That's all. That is how it sums up the leadership. You know, there is a accountability with responsibility for a leader.
Okay.
And then the best part of defense service is there is nothing like a bottom line. The results are not tangible. In the sense, you know, आपने क्या कर दिया आपका, like in corporate, they see the bottom line, where at the end of the month, you know, the net profit and loss. The defense, there is nothing. Our bottom line is the security of our nation, territorial integrity of the nation. We are sitting here today because somebody is there at the border through 24/7. Some ship is patrolling the shores. Some Air Force aircraft are doing some recce. They are ready to fly. So because of that, we are here and doing this interview today. I know that is a larger aspect people don't realize. We are safe, we are enjoying New Year party, we are, you know, living our normal lives just because of the defense services. I think that people should understand.
Captain, what is the most rewarding aspect of serving in the aviation branch of the Indian Navy?
Aviation branch has got its own peculiarities. In the sense, aviation standards are very stringent and there are rules and regulations. It's unlike a surface navy where the ship still can float. We can't have any error in our maintenance or something. It's at the end of the day when the pilot completes his mission and comes back, it is some kind of a different feeling altogether for the ground crew. So having been a part of that successful mission, it feels very rewarding. And at the same time, in the aviation, we have a kind of we have an amazing bonhomie, camaraderie among the pilots, ground crew, or the air operation officers, or the ATC officers. Then that in itself is, you know, as a personally very rewarding. And we enjoy that.
When we interview officers like you, many of our viewers who are young boys and girls will aspire to take up challenges as a naval officer, as an army officer, as an air force officer. What is your message to our youngsters?
I have been a part of, like I had told you earlier, I have been a part of a team which went to all the various schools in Goa, where, you know, we showcased the Navy and we tried to encourage people to join services. So services is an honorable life, you know, it is an amazing life. There is nothing like life in defense services. It gives you a complete professional satisfaction and you are totally looked after. The job is secure. The job is secure. You are looked after. You are, I mean, you get a fairly good amount of, you know, good package in the sense that, you know, you can, very comparable to all corporates outside. So it's a way of life. So I would strongly recommend the Goan youth, you know, just think of joining different forces as an alternative. It doesn't very, as I said, you know, it's a very proud feeling to be in, you know, donning a uniform, whether it is Army, Air Force, Navy, it doesn't matter.
Because there is respect when you are serving and even after your retirement,
yes,
there is a lot of respect.
Yes.
So बरेचले तुम्ही आमच्या मनान आज आयले, आमच्या स्टुडंट आयले, आमच्या भुरग्यांक, आमच्या विवाजांक तुवें बऱ्यो बऱ्यो गोश्टी सांगल्यो. यू inspired our youths. So very thankful to you for being here with us. आणि सलाम फौजी.
Thank you so much for having me here today and Jai Hind.
जय हिंद. आणि तुमकां व्यूअर्स आमी अशेंच आनीकय ऑफिसर्स हाडटले आनी तुमकां अश्योच बऱ्यो बऱ्यो म्हायती करून दितले. सलाम फौजी.